We live, I think.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
All right.
Can I share it? Let's see.
We can share it. Hello. We are finally live. Whoo, we had so much fun behind the scenes before we got to you all.
Ain't that something?
Ooh, it's something. Let me turn my volume down so I can share this. Um, I don't want to be one of the people with my live start blasting on my phone when I share it. So
Like the people do at church when they say like and share and tag it. You be like, you know, you actually in the service, right? You can turn it
right.
down.
Oh yeah, it's okay. We can okay. Hello. Y'all do us a favor, like it, love it, share it, do all of that good stuff. We're excited about tonight. Although it is women's all of that good stuff. Now look at me being that person.
You here? It's okay. You
Look at me being that's why you can't talk about people. Look at me being the person I just talked about.
my
So
Lord
guys,
fix it.
we are excited about this month. I'm excited about the whole month. Like the whole month. Look at your neighbor and say the whole month. I'm excited the whole month. I'm excited about the whole month. So I know that it's Women's History Month and we're gonna do some stuff to honor women. I promise you that's what we built on. However, I deemed it necessary because I work in education. I'm an educator, and I see the importance of celebrating men and also honoring men who are educated and men who work in education. And in being educated, you don't necessarily have to be a teacher to be an educator or to be in education. It comes in
Yeah.
different forms and different facets. So
Mhm.
I'm excited tonight because our first guest, I used to say his name wrong. Let me see if I'm gonna say it right, if I remember. Kevin Pettice.
That's right.
All right, because when I first met him, I said Pettice.
Pettis. I was, that's not it.
It's not it, but that's why But one of the things that I love. Correct me if I say your name wrong. I'm one of those teachers. I don't care what your mama named you. I'm gonna call you by your name and correct me every single time because your name is important.
That's right.
Yeah, you is kind. You is smart. You is
Thank you, Miss
important.
Info.
Yes. So I wanted to take this month to honor educated Black men. And I'm excited because our first guest is Kevin. Look at me about to say it wrong.
Petite.
Peace, okay?
That's right. That's right.
Look, you see how the devil try to take me back.
They took me back.
So what I'm going to do is I don't normally introduce the individuals because I don't want to rob you of any accolades, any degrees. I don't want to say anything
Uh-oh.
wrong. And the thing
Uh-oh.
I can't tell it, I'll let you tell it.
That's right.
So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, tell the
Okay.
people what it is that you do, who you are,
Yeah.
and this is your time to shine. Shine. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Tell your story, and then I'll come back and we'll jump into it. So it's on you.
Gotcha. All right. Hey, everybody. I thank you for having me on, for even giving me this opportunity to speak on behalf of education and Black men in education and being educated. My name is Kevin Pettice. I am a native Charlottean. Listen at me acting like I'm at an interview. This is really what I do. My name is Kevin Pettice, native Charlottean, graduate of Northwest School of the Arts. So being in that, that sector of the arts, started out in music, started in piano, and I went on ahead and changed my focus when I got to college. Got over into Livingstone College and got my bachelor's of science in hospitality management. I was like, when I go to college, I've already been in the field. I worked in country clubs. That was my first start. And I said, well, I'll stick it out. And I was like, maybe I should major in music and teach music because I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I said, well, you can teach music. Lord had other plans. He said, let's get you on back to this food and beverage sector. So I have been in food and beverage for a little over 15 years now. Actually getting that master's in it, what was it, in 2019, December of 19. What was some other questions about? So the bachelor's at Livingstone, the master's at Florida International University.
And what do you do now?
And so now I am actually currently a admissions recruiter at Livingstone College. Um, I pivoted from the hospitality field because I never actually wanted to work as long as I did in the field. I actually wanted to teach it. And so pivoting back into higher education and working in admissions, I knew I would have a closer chance at becoming an adjunct or full-time faculty one day.
That's amazing. You just never know things about. You go to church with people, you don't know that. I did know some of that. I didn't know the whole testimony, but I did know some of it.
Yeah.
But God's plans are not like our plans. And the plans we have for ourselves, it doesn't happen. Because I told myself I was supposed to be a lawyer. That's what I was supposed to be. But the Lord just dropped me in the classroom.
Yeah.
In the classroom. But to God be the glory. I believe that it's a stepping stool to get me where I need to be. And even to speak to that, and we not y'all, I promise we're gonna do this podcast and we yeah, okay, we're gonna get there. But even we're gonna church a little while.
That's right.
So we thank him. We're believers. But even knowing, having the wisdom to know that, hey, I know where I want to be, and this may get me closer to where I need to be.
Right.
A lot of times we don't necessarily like waiting, and we try to rush process. But rushing the process will cause you to miss something, and when you miss certain things, you won't be able to handle it. And so that speaks to a level of maturity in life, in Christ, and everything, to say, like, no, I'm going to wait it out, but I know the moves that I have to make to get there. And sometimes when you're on your career path, the pivots that you have to take to get where you want to be. The classroom is not my destiny, but it will help me to fulfill destiny. And so it's a blessing to know when something is purposeful, and that purpose will drive you into your destiny.
That's right.
That's mature. Like, because sometimes it's like, like JG Wentworth, it's my career and I want it now. You go to
literally listen, and that's how it was with me starting back in higher ed. I actually started in August of last year. I said, oh, well, I'll take this position in housing. Found out real soon. I was like, yeah, housing's not my ministry. Like, a lot of kids have a lot of issues that I am not ready to fully equip to handle.
Right.
They deal with things back home that you got. I'm like, I'm not a social worker. I'm sorry. So I saw one of the individuals who worked with me. She was walking down the hall. I was like, y'all still looking for a admissions recruiter? And so that's when I decided to go ahead and jump over in here. But even being here now, I'm just like, I really love this. Like, this is something that I can really get along with. And you can actually advance within this role as well. And it still helps the institution. It helps the community. And it gets the word out about HBCUs and different things. So I was like, I don't know. The teaching gig may not sound like what I want to do anymore. But I'm still praying about it.
Yeah. Just keep on praying.
That's right. Just keep on. All right, I'm done.
All right. And so we'll segue into this right here. So everything that you do has to be rooted in your why. The older I get, because I'm getting older. Not a spring chicken anymore. I'm getting older.
Ain't that something?
I was 10 2 weeks ago. I'm telling you. 5th grade, Miss Fields class. I was there 2 weeks ago. And I looked up, and I'm knocking at 32.
Grown.
In real life and in real time.
You're like, whoa, what happened?
And so I'm learning that whatever you do, especially in your profession, it has to be rooted in your why. If you can always go back to your why, you can show up the next day. So my question to you is simply, what is your why? Why pursue education? Why pursue the bachelor's? Why pursue the master's degree? Why, like, what is
Yeah.
your why? What is that driving force that causes you to keep going? Um,
Okay, so the start out of that would be my mom started with once I became 18, and she gave us an ultimatum. All my siblings, she said, either you go get a job or you go to school. I was like, well, I'm not ready to work that hard just yet, so I'm gonna try school. And she said it. She even said it herself. She was like, I didn't think that because she was like, you told me that you didn't want to do it anymore, so I thought you were done. I thought you was gonna go and get a job. And then also seeing those friends around you. This friend got accepted to A&T. This friend got accepted to Winston. This friend got accepted here and there. And I'm like, well, I was in the same class with them. I know I ain't that slow. So let me go ahead and try to apply to college too. And so once I got to college, I knew it was a God move. I met some of the people that I love to this day. Like I love Dr. Ray. She was very influential in my career here at Livingstone. She just got off the phone with her. She's like, all right, what we doing next? What you doing next? Are you going to get your doctorate? Are you doing this? Like, some of those influential people that I met throughout my career here at Livingstone. And what's the question again? I'm sorry. I almost started reminiscing about how we went to traveling and got food, and my mind just gets so scattered. Go ahead, say it again.
but it happens here and it's welcome because we want it to be organic. That's why
Okay.
you did not have
Okay. And
to.
so back to the why.
Well, go ahead and tell your story.
I'm sorry. Back to the why. So yeah, mom said you either go get a job or go to school. So I said I'll go to school. So I went to Livingstone, and I got here. I was like, yeah, I was explaining earlier, I'll do the education piece. And then a friend, she came running down the hill. She was like, Kevin, we got this. She was fanning something like a pamphlet. I was like, what is that? She was like, this new major is coming to Livingstone. And it was time for me to select a major. And I'm like, hospitality management. Like, you can get a degree in the field that I'm already working in. And I think I had like 4 or 5 years experience already. And I was like, I'm looking like, Lord, I know. You know how you hear God real clear?
Yes,
And
I
that was
did.
one of the real clear moments. I was like, well, I guess I need to major in hospitality management. And when I tell you my eyes have been open to the world, I mean, I'm just a country kid from Charlotte. A lot of people think Charlotte City, but we was country, we still country. I'm just a country boy from Charlotte. I didn't even think about college. I was like, oh, for what? I'm gonna just get a little job, work my years, retire, the dream. What I thought was the dream. And then Dr. Ray started me on that course. She was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I love food and beverage. I've been in food and beverage. I've been in catering. I tried that. I was like, I don't want to work that hard, doc. She was like, all right, what's another venture you want to do? I said, well, I want to teach. She was like, all right, so in order to teach, you're going to have to do these things, X, Y, and Z. You're going to have to go back and get your master's. You're going to have to go back and get that time in teaching you, whether you start at a high school or started undergrad. I was like, gotcha. So I went on back, graduated with that bachelor's in 2016, went on down to Miami, full-time program coordinator from Miami College, as well as working on my master's at FIU. That was an experience within itself. I had students sitting next to me from China. I'm like, y'all really came all the way over here to get a. What am I doing? Like, I need to go somewhere for my doctor. I need to go to England or something. Like, they put those thoughts in your head. I'm like, these kids all the way so many miles from home, they doing these degrees and working. And I was like, this is amazing. But the Lord put me down there to see that so I won't be so closed-minded like our cousins be. Glory to God. And that's another thing about education. Once you get those degrees and you see where these people come from, you're like, I really can do this. Like, I don't have to be a statistic. Like, I can be great too in my own way.
So, listen, things are said that catch my attention and it just grabs hold of my spirit now. So, So the reason why this is necessary, so let me give everybody a little bit of background. So last month we talked to business owners and people that operate in business and things of that nature. And so we had entrepreneurs on, we had individuals who we had a mortgage loan officer that was on, my pastor was on. His business is who Jesus bless him, Lord. That's a whole nother business to be a part of. And so, but even in that, everybody has a place. And whatever you have to do not to become a statistic, as long as it's lined up with the will that God has for your life, you should do it. Because the reality is, everybody is not called to entrepreneurship.
That's right.
Is not, and you can do both. You know, I do both, but everybody's not called to that. And I think that whatever it is that you have to do to not to become a statistic, then I think that you should do it. So I don't downplay anybody that's not where I am or chose what I chose.
Right.
And I think the diversity is what causes us to be who we are, specifically in our culture as African Americans, because we came from slavery. So to see us work in these different avenues, it means a lot. And so I was an honor student in high school, but I did not go to college right after high school. One was, you got a 3.7 GPA. I got accepted into every college that I applied to except Clemson. And I'm not a Clemson fan to this day. And so,
help the Lord. Clear our heart, Lord.
And so, yep, still salty. Gamecock fan all day. And so,
help Jesus.
They wanted an extra foreign language, and I just wasn't going to do that my senior year. I wasn't going to do it.
You was done. Senior year, we done.
Electives and stuff that was just going to boost, you know. So I didn't choose that. But I decided as a believer that I wanted to show people that were coming behind me a different way. And sometimes you don't know what to do, but God will use a voice to navigate you in what your purpose is, to help you fulfill destiny or point you in the direction of your destiny. And for you, it was your mom. Something simple as you got two choices. School. For me, it was literally Lady Ray. I think we were on our way to a service or something. And we were just talking. And we were just talking. And at the time, I was just Sister Monique. That was it. I had no title. I was just Sister Monique. I was Ben's wife. I was just Sister Monique. And she looked at me and she said, I think you should consider education. Did not have a degree, anything. And she said to me, I just think you're too anointed not to have a degree. And I was like, in the moment, it was like, you know. But it stuck because this is somebody that I know cares about me and loves me, cares about my future, and they see the benefits of having an education. And sometimes people see things in you that not yourself, but God will use a voice to navigate you where it is that you need to go. And
that's true.
I started pursuing education in my 20s, my mid-late 20s, not early, like everybody else. You know, by that time, all my friends had degrees. Masters. And I'm looking like, maybe I need to go back and get my degree.
Can I get a little crumb of a degree?
And so I did. I went back and I did it. But I'm grateful that I did the adult degree program because I encountered so many people. So I would be in a classroom with people that are like, you know, people that are that have like a heavy load. So they're taking like 6 to 8 classes or something like that. So they would be in class with me and they're like 18, 19. But then I would also have people who saw the need. They've been in the workforce. Let me come get a degree so it can put me in a better position on my job. And they like 60 or whatever. But it was so many different people from so many different walks of life. I did not attend the HBCU, but I support HBCUs. I do. But it was just a diversity and it expanded my mind in so many ways that I was like, oh, this is different. Because at that point, my gauge was just what my mom and my daddy taught me, what church taught me, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
But my mind was expanded because there were so many different perspectives.
Gotcha.
And it caused me to embrace diversity because you have people in a class, you talk about people in a religious studies class, and it's Pentecostals. I went to a Catholic school, so there were Catholics there naturally. Most of my professors were Catholic, and then you would have individuals who were atheists sitting in the classroom, but it's religious studies. And so it's just hearing different perspectives and knowing like why you believe what you believe and things like that. Holding on to the profession of my faith because I'm a proud Pentecostal. So I just want to throw
Be
that.
careful.
But I am grateful that, I did pursue education. I'm grateful that I did it because even working in the schoolhouse causes you to work with individuals from different backgrounds and different walks of life. So that kind of triggered something. And I'm going to stop talking because, we churchy, so we can talk.
Listen, get full up.
And, and you get paid to talk to people.
You get full up.
So,
But to piggyback on what you were saying when you were saying about the diversity, I encountered that when I went to my first internship. So I actually done internships throughout these degrees as well. And so with the bachelor's, I did 3 consecutive Disney internships. And so from those internships, I learned a whole lot about the business side of things of hospitality, how to be a robot. We try not to have people be like that. We try to have them be a person, a VIP, a very individual person, but you're not in the industry, the hospitality industry. They want you to work and get out. It's crazy.
Right.
But another guy I had met, he was from China as well. He was studying for his master's in St. Louis. He had graduated from Beijing and then went over to St. Louis for his master's and was in Florida on just an internship. I'm like, good Lord. Like, they're showing me that I thought I was doing something coming from North Carolina because I was terrified. I went down to Florida. That was my first time leaving home. I was just like, Mama even tell you, I called over. Mom, I'm ready to go. Oh, big old 20. I think I was 22. Big old 22-year-old self. I was like, oh, you got ready to go. Oh, she was like, you'll be fine. Click. I was like, oh. But I'm so glad that she had that tough love to be like, suck it up. You'll be fine. And plus, ain't nobody got no money to come to Florida and get you. I was like, oh.
But look how far you've come.
Look, hung up, had the time of my life, but went back twice, did 2 more internships. And even from there,
That's amazing, though.
God really moved. I was just like, well, I guess I'll be moving to Orlando. But from there, it even gave me an opportunity to get my first position in the industry, like first top paying position. You know how you graduate college and they be like, you're not going to get a job in your field. Just look out for that. I'm like, stop saying that to people. Yes, you can. You got to claim it and believe it.
Right. So that's right. So, and this is another thing. I was in prayer this morning. The Lord gets me in prayer. He gets me all the way together. Okay?
Don't he hem us up?
He yanked me up. Okay. It was a yank. Sometimes your mama has to hem you, but then sometimes they yank you. Right? It was different.
It's a different grab. It's
it was terrifying. A yank in the back, like I didn't see that one coming. And one of the things that the Lord said to me while I was in prayer, He said, don't limit people to your experiences. And I think sometimes we just repeat things like that because we limit people to our experiences. And so, and you have to be careful with cliches because it's just something to say. You're not going to have a job in your career field. You don't know the God I serve either. Favor will open doors that money cannot. And but I know that if I attach my work to my favor and my faith, then God can do great things and greater things. And people like you, I guess I say but I'm humble. I don't like put myself in it. Humble.
Crazy. You too.
It's necessary though, because I don't have a master's yet. Y'all pray for me.
He with you. You got it.
Going back to school.
A lot of writing.
Oh man. And I'm like, all right, but I got it. It's okay. I'm gonna do it. But to see that we have the same thing, like I have a bachelor's, you have a bachelor's, I'm working on the next part. But to see that it was done on different journeys and different playing fields, but we still got to that same goal, that same discipline. And so you cannot get stuck on your circumstances, because if you're looking at your circumstances mentally, you will automatically disqualify yourself. You will automatically disqualify yourself. And and just to tell them my story, I was born out of wedlock, attended public schools, and went to some Title I schools, things of that nature, but it is literally God's hand that was on me that caused me to. I'm not necessarily shocked that I'm a teacher, because the Lord allowed me to encounter some great teachers along the way. I mean, my first grade teacher, Miss Guerin literally taught me, like, hey, hold your head up when you talk to people. Why are you looking down? Like, I don't get that. My third grade teacher, Miss Cynthia Dees, who I'm still connected with now, literally pushed me academically, because I was kind of hiding. Like, I don't want you to know, like, I know that, like, when you got answers, so
that's one.
And then even now, using my voice for things like this, being a teacher, being a preacher, I discovered my voice in 5th grade with Miss Frances Fields. We had a play, and it was one girl in the play who only had one line, and her name was Clara. That was the person I was going to play. Her name was Clara. I said, I'll do that. She only got one line.
Why her name Clara? No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
It was Clara. And so we did the line, and she was pumping us up. She was like, when you do it, be loud, be proud, use your voice. Use your voice. I was like, okay. So I said it the first time. She was like, give me more than that. Miss Frances Fields, I will never forget this. And I said the part. And she stopped and said, I thought that I had a narrator, but we're going to give it to Monique. And I was like, no, we not. No, ma'am. No, we're not. No, I'm okay with Clara, one little line in this play. And so she said to me, she said, but when your voice is that powerful, you don't limit it to a sentence. I was like 10. And I remember those. She said, but when your voice is that powerful, you don't limit it to just a sentence. People need to hear your voice. And so it prepared me for that. And then around that time, like, I started going to church, and I started using my voice a little bit more. And God would just allow me to encounter individuals who were just great teachers. Like, they love beyond the paycheck. Because that's the only reason you're doing it. That ain't even a reason to do it. And that's still true. Like, if you're doing it for a paycheck, sometimes this might not be for you.
Walk right out of there.
Yeah, because I'll be contemplating every day. Like, come on now, my God.
Somebody catch me.
But I've always had great teachers. In middle school, I encountered people like, my teacher was actually on, Mr. Harry McFadden. I encountered people like that. Saw me in the wrong direction. I know the Lord had called me to church. That was it, but I wanted to pivot, because I wanted to be like everybody else. Like, I want to be like,
natural.
Cool, this is what's popular. Like, let me go
naturally.
People like me, and but he stopped me one day and said, I see the direction you're going, but that's not it. And he was like, you come from good stock, your family, the good people, choose to make a better decision. I don't want to see you hanging with those girls. I love them, but I got to love them on a different level. But I don't want you around them. And he wasn't a harsh man, but he said that to me very sternly. I encountered people like Mr. James Brown, like so many teachers that literally paved the way. So getting into the profession, at first I'm like, no, because I'm thinking about the paycheck. But then having somebody whose voice holds so much weight in my life said, maybe you should try this. And in trying it, being in the field, got my degree, teaching now, not saying that this is my destiny, but it speaks to the fact that God will put people in place to kind of push you to where you need to go, even if you don't always have the direction. And that's why I'm grateful that God knows our end from our beginning. And people are important. They're
And I
really
love how the Lord will place somebody right there when you need them. So it was a teacher in high school. I'm not gonna say her name, glory to God, but I do remember her words. She was like, "Oh, you won't be able to do that." You know, we all have that testimony, but I could recall a time where a teacher literally said, "You will not be able to do that because you don't have the type of voice for it." I'm like, I thought teachers was here to encourage us. Thank God I have encouragement at home in the Lord, you know. But just those words, you don't know what that could have done to me. Like
it
being,
could have damaged.
it could have really damaged me. I wanted to be a communications major, even though I couldn't read as well, even though I couldn't speak as well. You don't know what the Lord had for my path. Still went to TV. And then I had a teacher, that same teacher, Dr. Ray, who came along. She was like, the sky's the limit. Do what you want. And her just putting those small words in my head, I applied to television. I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply to TV, see what happens. We're on a family trip in Myrtle Beach. And they were like, hi, this is the producers from Worst Cooks in America. I was like, the who? I said, give me just a second. I'm trying to find a collar shirt or something to put on to do my interview. So I interviewed for Worst Cooks in America on a family trip. And I was just like, hi, praise the Lord. Hello. Trying to be animated, trying to get on the show. Got that TV show. And from there, went on to the Great Food Truck Race on another TV show because they called me. They were like, oh, you guys did so well on Worst Cooks. Let's put you on a team and let's see what happens. We actually won the show. We won season 9 of the Great Food Truck Race on Food Network. So by the time I graduated with my master's, I had been on 2 TV shows from that teacher telling me that I can't speak well. I said, won't the Lord make you eat your words? Now you watching me on TV, huh?
That's the kind of God I serve.
And another man had said that at A&T, we went up to a college tour, and I kept saying, I got accepted to Walt Disney World. And, we went on a grad school tour, and he was like, you don't understand that the Lord has so much more for you. And I was just like, oh, Lord, he wanted prophets. I was like, go ahead. He said, he wanted prophets. Go ahead. And he was like, being that you got accepted to the Disney internship, that's going to be a stepping stone for where the Lord is really going to take you. And I was like, but like, this is Walt Disney World. Like, what you mean a stepping stone? Like, no one looks at Disney as a stepping stone, but it really was. It propelled me into where I really needed to go in the industry and all the degrees that I was going to attain and all of that. I was like, oh, I hear you, prophet. It's like, you got to look back through the years like, oh, yeah, that's right. It was real.
But all you need is a word from the Lord, no matter how it comes.
Mm-hmm.
It may not always come through the pulpit, but I'll take it through the pulpit. It may not always come, when you and sometimes when I get where I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I don't. Because this is a process. My junior year of college, I don't want to hear no encouraging words. I don't want to hear that.
Why you ain't want to hear that?
I want to hear it. I don't even want to finish this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, in the right time, in the right moment, God will remind you of his word. I was literally like, I'm not going back to school. I said that. I said, you know what? This is going to have to be it. This is going to have to be it. Like, it's going to have to be it. But then I started hearing, words, and I prayed this, Lord, bring back prophecies of old to my remembrance in those moments when I forget what you said. And I learned to write stuff down and recording what people say because I'm like, God is not a man that he should lie, so I'm going to take it to the bank. And, I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to do it. And I got accepted into school, and I was like, I'm going to start here. Then my grandma passed, and she was like the driving force for education because I was like, what she didn't get to do, I was able to do. And so, like, I'm not going to school. Lord, she died. That dream died. It's dead. Yeah. But then Lord brought something back to my remembrance about somebody telling me how far I was going to go in education and why I was going to go that far. And it caused me to do it again. And so it just speaks to the fact that the Lord orders our steps.
Yeah.
Like your journey to where you are now, like who would have known? Your senior year of high school, like who would have known? But the scripture said he knows the way that we take.
Come on.
And so and we didn't hit half the questions we were supposed to hit.
Oh wow.
But it's all right. It's all really
That's all right.
good. But it's encouraging to know that even when we're counted out, God will always say, but I say that you're still in the race.
And even from there, I was counted out not once, not twice, but 3 times from the one school that I applied to. I applied to A&T. I wasn't going anywhere else. I was going to be an Aggie through and through. Got a rejection letter. I was like, oh, that was nasty. Got home. They sent me another rejection letter. Oh, we not done. We go email you a rejection letter. I was like, why they so nasty?
Knife in and just twist. Like
it just kept twisting. But then, later on through the years, applying again for A&T, I got closure, being accepted for their master's and turning it down and going to FIU. I was like,
tag, you're it.
One you, one me.
It was like, oh no, how the tables have turned.
Ain't that something?
But this has been like, oh my goodness, this is so. Some people come on here and it's like, hey, you got to come back. This is just one of those things where it's like, hey, you got to come back because we got to finish this because this was so good. And one of the reasons why I really desire, because I be praying about this stuff. I be praying like, Lord, who should I get? Who is it? And when the Lord dropped in my spirit, I was like, it's perfect. Because no matter what I do or what I talk about, I want people to see believers on display doing the things that we don't necessarily do. Because in the body of Christ, we're not all just teachers in a classroom. We're not all just, individuals that preach and do the bare minimum. That's not it. We're living out ministry in the marketplace.
That's true.
God said that he would make your name great, and God is doing just that. And you don't have to go that far to get it. I didn't have to go that far. I went to my church.
Didn't we come down the hallway? Ooh, vestibule. Ooh, they in the vestibule. Hey, I was like, oh Lord. I get scared. I was like, somebody want me to do something in ministry. I'm scared.
And that was the exact look that I got. I said, hey, I want you to do something. What you want me to do?
What you want me to do?
But you don't have to go far. I think your testimony is powerful. And I think that you have the personality that can not only compel individuals to Christ, but compel individuals to get an education.
Right.
So I'm grateful that God allows us to be multifaceted and gifted in so many different areas. And I'm like, y'all, what y'all see right now is what you get. This is Kevin every day, all day.
All day.
But it speaks to the fact that you can be yourself and God can use you in the authenticity of who you are. I think that your life is a blessing. I think your testimony is a blessing. And I'm excited about whatever the Lord wants to do in your life. I'm excited about that. I'm
Thank you
about it. So y'all, he's going to come back. I'm not going to ask him, but he's going to come back. Hopefully he can come
back. That's right.
Hopefully he can come back and be my co-host on another one this month. We'll talk about that after we get off.
That's right. That's right.
If he's going to reject me, he's going to have to do it when we get back in the studio. Not on Facebook. I don't know. He will.
Hey, that's something. That's all. Just like
we'll go back in the studio after this so we can talk a little bit. We're not going to hold you all long, but he's gonna have to come back. I don't know when, how, but he's gonna have to make his way back so that we can talk, have a conversation. Y'all, it's a couple of people I'm bringing back. So I'm like co-host. So I might have to change the name. I don't know. We got to figure that out. But thank you so much, so much for coming. You're such an inspiration. And do you have any closing words, like any encouragement to somebody who may have been just like you, that somebody told them the same thing somebody told you? Close us out and
Yeah, well, first off, thank you for having me. Thank you for praying about it, and my name dropping in your spirit because I don't really do things like this because I get nervous. I'm like, uh, I don't like to speak in front of people. I'm more of a behind the scenes person when it comes to ministry. That's why I don't mind ushering and stuff that I'm not in the forefront. But I do thank you for this because I know I need to go ahead and break out that shell. But like, you're 30 years old. You're no longer in the Sunshine Choir. It's okay. You can speak at church. But he'll be like, and the Lord wants to do better and more things with you. Glory to God.
Yeah.
But to the people, never think that education isn't an option. There are things out there in place for people who do not have the best GPAs. I got to school with a 2.1. And now I got a master's and been accepted for a PhD. So, I mean, the sky is the limit when it comes to education. Here at Livingstone, we have look at me trying to sell the college. You know I was going to throw that in there.
Go ahead. That's
you like, oh, you know I was going to throw that in there, boy.
I was waiting on it, okay?
So here at Livingstone College, we're a smaller HBCU founded by the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. We're founded in 1879, located here in the great metropolis of Salisbury, North Carolina, just 30 minutes north of 85. And we are a student population of about 8 to 1,200 students. Please apply. Think about applying. Pray about it. The Lord led me here. He may lead you in other directions, but we have a saying here at Livingstone, you get life out of the stone at Livingstone College. Your life may not be my life. Yeah, ain't that nice? You get life out of the stone at Livingstone. Your journey may not be mine. It may be similar to mine, but you will have a journey and you will graduate. We don't only accept students, but we make sure you get here, you matriculate and graduate. A lot of universities don't say that and don't actually do that, but we make sure you get up out of here. Glory to God. With a degree.
With a degree. And so, y'all, this commercial has been brought to you by
Livingstone College at www.livingstone.edu.
But I'm for it. If you need to apply somewhere outside of Livingstone, apply somewhere. Just
somewhere.
I think I posted it a couple, and I'm getting off for real, y'all. Oh my goodness, we gotta go. We gotta go. I didn't mean to hold you this long. Come church.
Ain't that
it? Come church. I got to make a beeline. But listen, start somewhere. I posted it like a couple of months ago. I pray that God gives you the strength to start and the grace to finish. Sometimes all you got to do is get started. It's not as far off as you think. I was out of school for so long when I actually applied. I was like, this is going to be hard. This is going to be tough. It was easier than I thought. It was so much easier, and I thought I waited too long to apply to the college I was at. And I was like, well, I'm 23. And my advisor said to me, well, that worked in your favor because now that you're 23 and you've been accepted, what did he say? He said, you're in our adult degree program. And I was like, well, what's the difference? He said, yeah, traditional tuition is $16,000 a year. The adult degree program is $4,000 a semester.
Look at God.
And so God knows the way that we take. Maybe some of the experiences that you experience on the way to get there is why God delayed it, and he knows now you're going to be serious about it. But just get started. Just apply. You may not get accepted. Okay, well, let me try something. There's a lot of colleges out there. Try it out. Just try. And God will put wind behind it. That's what we believe. So this has been excited. I'm excited that Kevin Pettice was on with us. He is an admissions counselor recruiter for Livingstone College. If you desire to apply and you just need a person to get you there, reach out to him, add him on Facebook, all of his everything. Just add him. Go to Livingstone College, do whatever you need to do. He's going to be my co-host one day, so we're not going to say he's just a guest. He graduated on the live, and we'll see him again.
Look at God.
Tonight, we're gonna talk in the studio to see if he's really gonna accept the offer.
Bless you.
We don't pay much over here, so we gonna.
You crazy.
Y'all have a good night.
Bless you. God bless you.